All right, everybody. This is the final stretch of the DRZ fix-up series. I thought I was recording here, and I was sitting here talking to this empty room for no reason for a little while here. I'm going to get you up to speed. I've drained the oil in this, and I've removed the oil screen here. And this was very loose in the frame. I'm actually a little scared how loose this was in the frame. But as you can see here, we'll let it focus for a second. It's pretty clean. I'm gonna clean it out. See, there's a little bit of junk on here. Let's see. Ooh. There's a little bit of junk on it, but I'm gonna clean it off and put a new crush washer on it. And we're gonna start us reassembling it. Sorry we missed that. That's a real bummer. And if I remember correctly, this is a real pain to get off of here. Now, first of all, I'm going to use my contact cleaner. Man, I'm really frustrated that I didn't get that recorded. I can't believe how loose this was in the frame. Like, I barely touched it to the nut or the screen piece, and it was removed. Unreal. So it's going to take me a second, and I'm going to get this removed. What I'll do, I don't have my pick. I'm going to try to walk it up with one of my cheapy screwdrivers. I got it to move. There we go. There we go, I got it off. Real quick, I'm going to power clean that surface and the surface it's going to mate with. And I got my crush washer kit here handy. And I'm just going to mate it up with the proper size here. Now, I've heard of people having trouble with this, so I'm going to find a really tight fitting size here. That one's close, but I want to make sure. That one's too tight. I can't even thread that one on. Nope. Patience makes it worth it. That was loose. I think that one will do just fine. I'm just hand threading in this thing in there. There we go. Alright, I'm going to set this torque wrench to 16.5 foot-pounds. That's what it calls for. I'm going a little over it on it because we got steel on steel here. And I want to make sure that crush washer is really getting crushed. Okay. We got our banjo bolt over here. And that's just an aluminum washer. We're going to go with a copper washer. If I remember correctly, I used this kit. That one's too small. Just right. It really doesn't want to go on there. Okay, so there's that one. Here's the other one. Go ahead and give this a clean. Off, along with our surface that we're going to be attaching it to right there. So I'm locating the hose onto the hose barb, but before I clamp it down, I'm going to get it in place. And put the banjo bolt in place. This can take a little bit of finesse. Now I'm going to put my 1/2 inch to 3/8 adapter on. And that torque spec is 16.5 foot-pounds. so it's knocking. And I went a little bit over it, but because I've had friends have trouble with this before. And now, I'm going to go back to my 1/4 inch drive. Oops. And tighten my hose clamp. And I got to make sure that it's on the hose shank of the end frame. Oil strainer. That's real good and tight. Now, if I wanted to do things 100% right, I'd put a new crush washer on my drain bowl. I'm not going to. It's not something that I've been in common practice of doing. And I'm not going to do it. And I'm going to take it down to 15 foot-pounds. There it is. Go to my 12. I'm going to put my frame drain plug back in, right over here. Now, here's for the most important part. The best oil, two quarts. Matter of fact, I think I'll stir it up a little bit just to make sure we don't have any settling. Two quarts. I don't know why people power torque their dipstick. It's got an O-ring on it. I'm going to take a couple extra seconds here. This got tossed on the ground and kicked around. I'm just going to take a few extra seconds here to clean this funnel out. And off. Looks good. In case it's out of the frame, I'm putting my 2 quarts of oil. Of Shell Rotella T4 conventional. By the way, that's what I run in my DRZ stroker big bore. And my track bike, and my street bikes, and. Just put it in everything. Very common for people to cross thread this. Hey, I got it snug. That's all you need to do. And now, I'm going to do a bonus. I'm going to do a bonus for you folks. Just give me a second here. Oh, I think I got my 10mm handy right here. Take you off the tripod here. Some people get nervous and say, oh, I don't know if I got oil flow to the head. Well, we're going to verify it. This is an oil bleed bolt right here. It's kind of dark here. You see here, there's an oil bleed bolt. Yeah, there we go. So there's an oil bleed bolt, and I've loosened it. Let's see here if he's... Okay, he does have the clutch switch bypassed. So here we go. We're going to start it. And we should see an oil weep. And then when I see the oil weep, good grief, I hate this. There we go. That'll take it away. So when I see an oil weep, I'm going to tighten this back. Let me see here. It's gonna make a mess. This MRD is so huge. You can also remove it if you want to. Now I'm gonna just make my point clear. Okay, we've got oil flow to the head. So, synopsis here. I'm trying to do two things at once. In just that little bit of time, that exhaust got hot. I'm going to tighten this back down. So in this little bit of time, we were able to determine we've got oil flow to the head. And we also have been able to demonstrate that it takes some pretty serious time for oil to get to the head once we have done an oil change. So going and rev bombing it probably isn't a good idea, especially on a head, there we go, like the DRZ, that takes an oil film and it has no bearings. It has an oil film to prevent wear. So we've done the in-frame oil screen replacement. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this a little bit more and make sure we don't have any leaks, and then I'm going to put the skid plate back on it, and this bike's going to be good to go for another 30,000 miles. Well, maybe not that long, but as long as it needs to. So we've used a little bit more oil because we drained a little bit more oil than the standard, so we might need to top it off on our dipstick, but that's fine. And I'm going to clean this up and we're going to be ready to go. That completes the DRZ Fix Up series. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.